And we are back on the Rodriguez Show. And we are here with our only guest, our very special guest for this Christmas Eve episode of the show. Her new mixtape, All Frost, No Ice, is out now. You can follow her on Instagram at officiallyfrosty. And you can see her in person on January 8th at her album release party show in Santa Ana. It's Frosty, how's it going?
What's up? It's going great. Thank you so much for the shout out. And I just want to say, thank you for doing this throughout the whole pandemic. I know you've been pushing the whole time. You're supporting artists when there are not too many ways to, be supported, especially during the pandemic. So thank you first and foremost.
We've been doing it since June. Thank you for being a part of this and coming here in person to do this.
Nice.
So like you said, it's been a while since you've been here. How you been? How's everything been?
I've been good. I've been great. No complaints. I'm grateful for every day that I am blessed with. Mm-hmm. Right now, since the mixtape just dropped, I am just super thankful for all the support I've been getting so far. Yeah. But there's still more to come. So I'm still kind of in the in the madness that is this mixtape release party and just all the stuff that's going to happen next. Because it's just the beginning, yo.
So before we talk about what's coming next and the mixtape, I wanted to talk about a big change that happened since the last time you were here in person. Mm-hmm. Was the formation of Frosty and the 5000s. The your live group. How did that come together?
Yeah, so I actually sent out, I made a post about, I'm looking for band members. It was actually during the pandemic, towards the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I had people respond via email, and just tell me a little bit about themselves, instruments and examples that, of them performing. Yeah. So it definitely was a lot of work, and tried out a handful of different, jam with different people. And the band did go through some changes, because it is a very big commitment, and we needed to make sure that we were all on the same page. We all vibed with each other. Yeah. So there was there was people like Jacob, the homie, who was here, and we're gonna perform a little later. He was in the 5000s, played guitar. But things didn't work out, schedules, and just just differences. So he's no longer. It's always just you gotta vibe together and be on the same page. He's still the homie though. Obviously, we're here about to perform. He has 2 songs on my mixtape. So that's super dope. Yeah. So Jacob was on guitar. And then we at one point had a pianist named Alex, who's no longer in the band. But as of right now, the 5000s consist of Brianna on the bass, Nicole on the drums, and Valerie on the guitar. And we really I think we just vibe together, and we all really understand each other. And I think it's a difference because we all identify, or we all identify differently, but there's just we're just super on the same page. And it took a while to find that groove. But we've been practicing throughout the whole pandemic, once a week, once in a blue moon, we would, not practice. But so we're excited to finally get out and start performing and just show the world what we're capable of, especially as we're a band first and foremost, but I also think it's pretty cool that we're all, woman or, woman identifying or non-binary, but we're out here regardless.
That's great. Yeah, it's a really big step, and I know that it took a while. Like you said, it's hard work, so congratulations on the formation of the 5000.
Thank you.
And also congratulations on All Frost No Ice, the new mixtape. The kids are cheering right now.
For the kids. Frosty is for the children.
So tell us about the making of this tape. I know some songs were out last year, so it was a long process. How did it come together?
Yeah. So ideally, this would have been dropped a little sooner, but with the pandemic happening and lots of uncertainty and just life-changing events, things had to be put on pause, but it is here now. And I dropped Viaje de Valor. I dropped Candy most recently, and then Dollar in a Dream. I put that out on YouTube only because it was such a song for the times, it was kind of a reflection of what was happening. So for me, it felt like, well, if I don't drop this now, then am I gonna drop it later when it's less relevant. Or just It's less I know, just thought provoking.
This was last summer.
Yeah, this was like around last summer, and yeah, I really wanted to work with other local artists. So I had the Homegirl Tonacin do a cover for Dollar and a Dream. Super cool, graphics for that. Viaje de Valor, I had my homie Brian Bowers, who also did the cover art for my mixtape. So I had him do the cover art for Viaje and then my mixtape. And then Candy, that whole process, I hired a female creative director. Her name is Paris. And for the music video, I really wanted to make a point to hire a woman-led team, especially just for me being comfortable, like, that song, I kind of went a little out of my comfort zone. It's a little more like sensual song. Yeah. And, people have their opinions and that's fine, But for me, I'm just like, well, I'm a human being and I have different feelings. Sometimes I feel political. Sometimes I feel, sad. And sometimes I feel like that bitch, So I'm going to make a song like that.
Yeah, that's what I was like, that's going to be as far as being an artist. Of course, you're going to express yourself, as far as any type of feelings you go. And like, that's what, creates the art, and that's very dope.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I wanted to be able to do that, but it's hard, like, tapping into that energy and it feeling natural when there's, like, a group full of, like, guys filming or watching you as you're filming this. Which is why I really wanted an all-female production team for that. And it happened, and it was so cool, like, working, like, with the group of all-females. And one of them even said, or woman, one of them even said, wow, it's just so weird not being a minority on set right now. And I was like, thank you for expressing that emotion, because this is exactly what I wanted, and
that's a really tight, like, let's take that in for a second. That's a really cool accomplishment, and you always try to create that space for people, so that's really great that you did that for yourself and for them, So speaking of that, you did touch on the subject matter of Candy. So was there hesitation to be like, all right, I'm gonna open myself up in this way?
Yeah, there was for sure. Like, dang, my family follows me on, like, social media, so that's a whole nother thing. But the way I saw it was like, well, it is a part of me, and I'm like, I'm 23, so like I'm an adult.
That's what people do, yeah.
And I personally think I did it in a classy way. But once again, everyone has their opinions. But yeah, it was difficult. I was like, just stepping out of your comfort zone, but I think that's important as an artist to always be trying something new. As long as it's still rooted in your truth and my truth, which it was. I was like, okay, well, I gotta do it. I had to take like maybe 1 or 2 shots during the video, but I eventually, kind of got over it, and it did help a lot, being that there was like a woman-led production team that definitely helped a lot.
And the fact that it starts off the mixtape, but I would say that even though the subject matter isn't similar to the rest of the songs, it still has the same feeling and vibe. So it was like perfectly placed in terms of the track list, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you mentioned Jacob and the people that helped you with the visuals of it, but in terms of making the actual tracks, who are some of your other collaborators?
Yeah, so I worked with a handful of different producers, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't call it an album. It's a mixtape because I picked different beats from different people, which ones I liked, so it wasn't like all done by one producer. But I worked a lot with BTE on a handful of tracks. BTE was Viaje de Valor. I think he did produce, mix, and master that whole thing. He also helped with the mixing of Ether's Interface. I also worked with Scrizzy Santana, who's also out here, another musician out here. He helped mix some songs like Not Exotic, and he did the little intro to Candy. But yeah, I'm trying to think we got Daniel James, who did Ether's Interface, Enoch, who's another local producer, and some other producers I bought beats from. So
that beat selection is sick. It's like so like in a way similar but not, because everything has its own like style, and I really fuck with that. That shit's really tight.
Thank you, appreciate that. I wanted to make it once again, this mixtape was really experimental for me, because I was like, oh, let me try this sound, try like this sound, because it's my second project, and the first one was all instrumental, so it was with the live band. So this one I was like, oh, well, I could really really just test so many waters here. So that's kind of what I tried to do, and each song had its own particular feeling or like theme. And they were all different for the most part. So yeah, shout out to all the producers, shout out to the team. And the project was also mastered by Intentional Sound, and that is David Garcia. Shout out to you, David.
Nice.
Appreciate you.
Do you have a favorite song at the moment?
I do. I have a couple favorites. It's really hard to choose for me because it's like, it depends on what day you ask me. Like, what mood I'm in. This is going to be my song right now. But I think the one I'm most proud of is Not Exotic. Because that one I wrote, it took me a while to write. First off, so that's why I'm just proud that I got to finish it. And I think it was one of my more lyrical songs. I did tell a story, and I actually went into it wanting to create a song in the perspective of one of my ancestors. So like, you know, like the song is written in perspective of a Native American woman who is pretty much telling a colonizer, like, or a Spaniard off, like, you're calling me exotic? Like, where? I'm from here. Like, where are you from? You know? And just all the stuff that they went through, and, you know, certain tribes are still going through, you know? So just telling that story and tapping into that, you know, that past life. So I'm really proud of it, and I hope I made them proud.
Well, it's a great track. Would that be the hardest track to make, or was there a harder one to make?
The hardest track to make? Actually, yeah, I think it was. It was because I needed to tap into that energy in the recording booth, and that's a whole nother another art form, which I've talked to a handful of people about. Artistry, you know, making music. I feel like there's some people who are good at recording and recording music, and there's some people who are good at performing music, you know? And if you're really good, you're good at both, you know? But it's one thing to perform with the live band and just feel it in the moment, but it's another thing to, like, all right, be in the booth. Here's a take. Oh, that wasn't it. I fucked up here. Oh, here's another take. So that one I really had to tap in, and because it's like I've said it so aggressively, like I really needed to tap into that place of, you know, pain and anger and anguish. So I think that song for sure was the hardest one to record, because there are a couple times where I would say the lyrics, but I wasn't saying them with my chest. So I really needed to say it with my chest on that one.
And I'm sure physically it takes a lot of energy to, like, keep pushing that energy out. Like,
for sure.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of physically, there's going to be a physical event. I mean, because you could be there in person. January 8th in Santa Ana, your release party for the project. What can we expect from that?
Yes, so it's actually going to be a duo release party. This is the first time I'm saying this, with the homie Zenaloa, who also released a album called Why I Oughta. So I'm doing this because, I just want to support, and we are a community, you know? And also he raps in Spanish. I rap in Spanish. I sing in Spanish. So I'm like, you know what? Why not have a duo release party? The more the merrier, right? So it's going to be a duo release party, and it's going to be some vendors. I'm going to have lots of new merch for sale. New merch. Emphasis on the new.
Oh, there you go.
But it should be fun. Yes, I'm wearing the Frosty hat as we speak. But there may or may not be snow. That's all.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be all right.
It's going to be a really good time, though. Yeah, and I'm super excited because I feel like I haven't, had a big show like this in a minute. And I'm just excited to see everyone in the community and just show them, what I've been working so hard on.
Is there going to be cover?
No, it's actually gonna be free.
Free event. There you go.
It's gonna be free, but that's more of a reason for y'all to help a sister out and purchase some merch. You know what I'm saying?
And then one of the ways they can support you right now is to buy the album on Bandcamp at Officially Frosty. At Officially Frosty is the Instagram where they can get the link to the Bandcamp page, and they can buy a physical copy of the CD of All Frost No Ice and get it at the release party, right?
Yes. So if you buy it on Bandcamp now, and you could just show. I'm sure you pull up on your email that you purchased the whole album, and then you can get a physical at the EP release party, or anytime after that. But so it's also the link is directly in my bio for Bandcamp now, so you just go straight there. $10.
Yeah, so I got to get it because I have the last one on CD, so I got to get it. And so one of the things I wanted to mention, obviously you've been working really hard on this mixtape, but you were also featured on BLR Viva la Raza, Sammy Love's new single. How was that relationship formed with Sammy Love?
Yeah, so I think the first time I met Sammy was probably at the Cool Lab, and then we just kept running into each other. I remember one time it was actually me and my boyfriend. Well, he wasn't my boyfriend at the time, but Freddie. We were like ciphering at like the catwalk or something, and she pulled up with another homie, and then we were just all freestyling, and then she like started freestyling. I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea you did this. What the heck? But yeah, and she's always been a big supporter of not only my music but just the community. She's always repping for people, putting them on, and just so kind. One of the kindest people I know. But yeah, and through the pandemic I really feel like we bonded, and we got really, really close, and we actually started the song before the pandemic. And this song has been a long time coming.
You told us you guys recorded a few times,
we recorded it with a few times, a few producers, a couple different ways. But I'm really thankful that that we were patient, because I feel like the end product was beautiful, and it was a song for the people, and I'm really thankful to have almost like a sister in this music scene. It's really cool seeing her perform and do her thing.
Yeah. Awesome. And shout out to Sammy Love and the single BLR Viva la Raza. That's one of my favorite tracks of the year. So that's it, man. We're excited for you to perform the new songs you're gonna perform with Jacob. We're excited for the release party that's coming up January 8th, and we'll give you a refresher on what's popping when we do the events. We'll definitely mention it the week of so people know.
Yes.
Before we do all that, we have this thing called 60 Seconds with. You haven't done it in a while. This is the rapid fire, first thing that comes to mind questions. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna start with favorite cartoon character.
SpongeBob.
Favorite song right now.
Not Exotic by Frosty.
What would describe you when you were a kid?
Quiet.
You have a hidden talent.
I could sound like a cricket.
Oh shit. Indica, sativa, or hybrid?
Whatever's clever. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hybrid. I don't know. Sativa.
All right. Netflix, Hulu, or HBO?
I don't watch TV.
Name of your best friend in high school.
Priscilla.
First CD you ever bought.
Harajuku Girls by Gwen Stefani.
Nice. First song you illegally downloaded.
I honestly have no idea. It's probably one of my aunt's songs, because I didn't know how to work a computer. I had no idea.
Jim Carrey or Will Ferrell?
Jim Carrey.
Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, or?
Honestly, I think Dave Chappelle is pretty funny, but that's you can whatever.
And your favorite thing about music?
My favorite thing about music is connecting with other people and having them interpret something in a way that you didn't even intend.
And that was 60 Seconds with Frosty. We're going to play a song off All Frost, No Ice. You want to talk a little bit about this track? Okay. Oh, you already did. There was the one that you wrote in the perspective.
Yeah, Not Exotic. And the intro is one of my favorite things. It's really dramatic. But I talk about, red, white, and blue and what that can mean for some people.
Nice. All right, we're going to listen to the track right now. This is Frosty, Not Exotic on The Rodriguez Show. We'll be back with a performance. Let's do it. And we are back on The Rodriguez Show, and it's time for the performance. You can follow her on Instagram at officiallyfrosty, with support from her friend Jacob here on guitar. Here she is, Frosty. Let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to be performing the only two acoustic songs on my mixtape, All Frost, No Ice. This first one is going to be called Fisherman, and shout out to Jacob Unesi, who plays guitar on both tracks. Let's get it, Jacob. Hey, fisherman, reel me in if you can. It's a deep blue sea. Hey, fisherman, I know you want me in your hands, but let me
me breathe. Hey, fisherman, I am the oceans and the lands. I was born to swim free. Hey, fisherman, hey, Mr. Fisherman, follow me. Upstream against the current, difficult, but I wish we weren't. Swift little swimmer, gotta be observant. See it toss the same mucks every other woman, 'cause it's West Coast water, sure is tasty. Hey, fisherman, reel me in if you can. It's a deep blue sea. Hey, fisherman, I know you want me in your hands, but let me breathe. Hey, fisherman, I am the oceans and the lands. I was born to swim free. Hey, fisherman, hey, Mr. Fisherman, follow me.
Nice. All right. So that was Fisherman. And this next song is called Seven Caves. And this one is about, I feel like it's not exotic, it was like the more aggressive approach to showing people like the pain and suffering that people go through. And Seven Caves is more like the gentleness, like the sadness without the anger. So this is Seven Caves. And it's actually about in the ancient indigenous like Mexica culture, they believe that there were 7 different tribes that roamed around the Americas, and they all came from 7 different caves. So that's what this song is about. It's called Seven Caves.
Tension off my shoulders, the seconds getting older, and fuck what they told you yesterday. I see you in the distance, you talk but they won't listen to what you got to say. Patience is a virtue, but waiting it can hurt you. Your mental and emotional state. So protect Pavana, the lightning and the thunder. The stars will shine bright in their name. 7 caves, 7 caves, 7 days, 7 days. Hands off the earth, the soil, yes, the dirt. It's ours and we're here to stay. It's the centuries in your veins. It's the fate you can't escape. It's the ripple and the wave. It's the pleasure and the pain. It's all one in the same. 7K, 7K, 7 days, 7 days. 7K, 7K. Won't be the last, and I sure ain't the first to notice the patterns present on earth.
Frosty on the Rodriguez Show. The kids are going crazy. The audience is going crazy. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, and I really want to give a shout out to Jacob, who actually wrote the chords to Seven Caves and Fisherman. I don't think they would have been the songs that they are today without, his strings behind them. He sent me like some tracks and I wrote to the guitar. So I think I just want to give a shout out to that. Shout out to live music.
Slapping that shit.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Frosty, for being here. Thank you, Jacob. You guys did amazing.
It's been a
pleasure. You can follow her at officially Frosty on Instagram. The project All Frost No Ice available on all streaming sites. So buy it on Bandcamp. They give a bigger cut to the artist, and get a CD too. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate that shit.
Exactly.
Be with your family.
And always remember to keep it funky, keep it fresh, keep it sexy, and we out.
Hey.